and welcome to Incoming, the weekly vidcast from Meeples Miniatures, which takes a look back at the week's historical miniature releases. This is episode 3, recording on Friday 15th of May 2009, and I'm your host, Neil Shuck. Another top 10 releases for you this week, so without further ado, let's get on with the show. At number 10, we have an unusual and quirky model. This is the Zvezda, a prototype World War I Russian tank, produced by a company called Tobson 77, who are from Germany. This is a 28mm scale model, and it sells for €15. At number 9 are the first of a couple of new releases this week from Victory Force Miniatures. These are 28mm crew and passengers for the British Universal Carrier, or Bren Carrier as it's sometimes known, and they're designed to fit into any 1/56 scale Bren Carrier. Quite a useful addition for you World War II gamers who don't happen to have crew in your 1/56 scale Universal Carriers. At number 8 we have some modern US policemen. These are 28mm scale and come from Black Cat bases and can be found in their Lost and the Strange range. It's always useful having some nice generic policeman figures available. They seem to be in a good range of generic poses. So whatever sort of modern style gaming you're doing, I'm sure these will fit the bill somewhere. At number 7 we have the second of our Victory Force sets of miniatures this week, and these again are modern figures. These are from Victory Force's Red Redden range and are figures in modern hazmat suits, either wearing a full canopy or wearing gas masks, suitable for all kinds of modern gaming, and strangely thematic with the current outbreak of swine flu. And number 6 is a very nice new model from Company B. Now this is a preview of their new 1/56 scale Rolls-Royce tender, and will come complete with a series of different crew and stowage options. This week's top 5 starts with a preview of some more World War II figures. And these have been posted this week by 148 Models, I believe are a subsidiary of Bauda. And these are of Germans and Russians from what appears to be a Stalingrad game. Nice looking figures these. No word yet on actual release date or price, but I'm looking forward to seeing more information as soon as it's published. At number 4, and right down in scale at 10mm, is a new range of figures from Tridente Bologna of Italy. These are their new Mongolian cavalry, and here you see a selection from the command pack, the heavy cavalry and the mounted archers. These look to be a really nice selection of figures, especially for you 10mm War Master Ancients players out there, and they seem full of character and detail, especially like the musician on the camel. A very nice selection of figures, and are priced at €5.28 for a pack of 12 different figures, which I think is a really good deal. Unusually for me this week, we have Foundry in my top 3. These are more new releases and figure packs for their early Prussians, and while I was slightly less than impressed with some of their Musketeers and Grenadiers a couple of weeks ago, these packs are for their Jaeger and their Fusiliers, and also includes models of generals as well. As I said before, being Foundry, the packs are a little on the expensive side, but I do much prefer the look of these models. Maybe it's just a Shako on the Fusiliers. So yet more early Prussians for you early Napoleonic gamers. And sticking with the theme of Napoleonic gaming, at number 2 we have a new range for me of 15mm Napoleonic miniatures. Now these are from Spain, and their latest releases are of British cavalry. Here you see a selection of Hussars, Light Dragoons, and my personal favourites, the Heavy Dragoons. Now some would say, do we need yet another release of 15mm Napoleonic figures? But these are actually quite nice. I think these stand out some of the other figures I've seen in this particular scale. Finally at number 1, actually a set of figures that have been floating around on pre-release for a few weeks now, although I believe they're officially released this weekend, and those are the new 40mm Greeks from Spartan Games. Now these are actually part of their Jason and the Argonauts range, but since the Argonauts are quite simply Greek infantry, then I think these very well fall within the remit of historical gaming. I believe these are sculpted by Mark Sims and are generally very nice sculpts, though they do tend to be on the expensive side. This particular pack we're looking at contains 5 figures with a selection of different weapon options, but comes in at £20, which at £4 for a 40mm figure is very much on the expensive side for this particular scale of figures. Look out for a more detailed review of these figures in the next Meeples Miniatures podcast at the end of May. Well, that's my top 10 for this week. I hope you've seen something you found interesting. And before I go, I do have to say one thing. Last week I reviewed this model as my number 2 from Pegaso, who I have to say are an Italian company, not a Spanish company, and my choice of it as a 54mm War Games figure was queried by Mr. Mike Siggins, no less, who basically said, well, considering that the figure comes in 36 pieces and costs in excess of €60, calling it a War Games figure was possibly a bit of a stretch. Well, Mike, what can I say? Caught red-handed, I think. So, yes, I'll give you that one. But I think you'll agree, a stupendous figure all the same. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.